What's going on YouTube? Is Donnie B all day. Listen, I'm going to bring you a few videos coming here and there. I'm going to show you different things that I believe are bug out bag must-haves. Now, I'm a Massachusetts Army guy, so I really call it go bag, but it's more widely known as a bug out bag, so that's how I'm going to list it. Now, there are a lot of things you should have in a bug out bag, and I want to bring you certain individual items that are just things that you have to have in there. So today's first item is a folding saw. Now, there's no right or wrong folding saw. This is a 8-inch blade folding saw. It's just freaking awesome. You can get them anywhere between, I don't know, 10 and 50 bucks probably. You know, there's such a wide range. I picked this one up either at Dick's or Bass Pro Shops. I don't remember. But what I remember is when I was putting together my bag, I knew I needed some kind of saw. And having a rope saw is good, but they're not always as effective as having a saw. Sometimes they kink, they get twisted, and it depends on what kind. Sometimes they'll dull. This guy right here is just a saw, and it's very, very compact. You don't have to worry about twisting it up in a little ball and making sure it doesn't get all tangled and this and that. It stays sharp. It's dirt cheap, so if you ever did dull one, you just get a new one. It has leverage. It has locking capabilities. It has everything you'd want in a saw. If I need to hold something up close, if I'm doing a light, small piece of wood, that's great. If I'm doing something bigger, I need to get a little bit of leverage on there. I'm going to hold it way down at the end. It does have a lanyard hole, so you could strap it to the outside of your bag if you prefer and dangle it with a carabiner. That's no problem. For me, it goes right inside. It fits easily in one of my bag pockets, and it leaves me plenty of room for other stuff. But so this is going to be my first video on go bag essentials or bug out bag must-haves, however you want to call it. We are going to work out the folding saw, also called the pocket saw, also called the pruning saw. There's a ton of different names for it, but it's most widely known as the blurry saw, the folding saw. So what we're going to do is we're going to go out to the fire pit. I got some wood out there, and we're going to test this guy out, which obviously I have done a lot of already. I use this thing when I camp, and I like to camp. So let's go show you this guy real quick. All right, so the saw, even a one-hand deployable, I like that. That is really cool. It snaps out really easy. What I have here is I got some little tiny trees sitting right there, and what I want to do is I want to saw down a few. Normally what I would do is just chop them, but I want to saw down a couple of these to show you that, and then we're going to go over to some hardwood, and we're going to do that. So let's get busy. Let's get busy here. So I'm going to get down low. Hopefully you guys are still in there, but what I want to do is just saw through and take them out. I mean, it's so easy. And I mean, it's a saw, so that's what you're gonna get. And I know what you're thinking, shorts, why the sweatshirt? But you know, it was cold this morning. I went to the gym, and I'm thinking to myself, don't want to freeze my nips off, don't care about my knees, so that's why. Get over it. So little tiny trees, a-okay. Let's go to the hard stuff here. All right, so got a nice big fat log here. It's, I don't know, 3 inches maybe. So let's see. Oh, one of the good things about when you have a saw in the woods instead of a hatchet or an axe is it creates fluff. So you want to get some wood down. You know, you want to tame it down to get pieces for firewood. And what you want to do is, instead of, you're not going to do it over the grass like this, you pick a spot out, and if you have a nice big flat rock, that's good. If not, you just pick a spot right under it where it's clear, to where you can collect all the sawdust. If you have some kind of tarp, something like that, take off a jacket, you put it down, you use the back of your jacket to collect all the sawdust, and you use that sawdust to help make fires. Now, I mean, that was simple. That's a nice, big, hard piece of wood right there. That's pretty solid. And it's just easy when you have this. Now, it's good for more than just collecting sawdust and having some great fluff. But if I'm making a structure rather than a fire, having nice edges is going to make great for windows, doors, anything like that I'm going to need for doing some kind of cabin-y type work. It's just so freaking important and so useful. You know what I mean? So if you have, sharp ends and you don't want a baton with it, you want to save your knife blade. If you're in a survival situation, you want your edge to be saved as much as possible. So what you do is you just break out your saw and you save the edge of your knife, and you use the saw to trim down all those pieces that you don't want. Now I have two nice flat pieces where I can build by fitting them into things. It's great to have. I mean, and this isn't just zombie apocalypse like, uh-oh, you know what I mean? Oh, spaghetti-o, where things go bad and that you need that bug out bag to literally bug out because things are about to go dreadfully wrong. But I mean, if you live in one of those states where you have hurricanes and you have this and that, and all of a sudden it's, you better evacuate. You don't have a place to go. You evacuate with a go bag and a tent. You need a fire. You need something. You always want to have that saw. It's extremely, extremely capable. Another good thing is, if this is all you have is a folding saw, and this is a bug out bag must have, so there's a lot of things that are going to go in your bug out bag, not just this. But if all of a sudden you got caught in a situation where you need to defend yourself, an 8-inch saw blade, I'll tell you what, you're going to be able to defend yourself. Not a problem. But it's not really about that. When it comes down to bug out bag, it's survival. It's, I need to pack a bag to have ready to go at any second, to where if shit hits the fan and I need to be somewhere where I am not home, I need to be able to survive. And that's what it really comes down to. So I know my bag is always ready to go, and I know that if I get to the woods and I need to cut down a tree, or I need to do this, do that, and I want to save my edge on my blades, this right here is going to be my go-to. I got my fluff just by cutting down some wood. I have a nice even doorway just by cutting through some wood. And I have knives that are going to stay sharp because I used this blurry saw to cut down some wood. So today's go bag must have some folding saw action right here. Remember, they are dirt cheap and crazy important. So until the next time, we're gonna I'll bring you another piece of bug out bag must haves. And I'll show you what I have, why I have it. This one right here. Now you know. I'm Donnie B all day. Until next knife.